Welcome, everybody. You have once again stumbled into another episode of the Geek Dad Report. I am, and hopefully always will be, your humble host, Brian, and this is my lovely, magnificent, wonderful co-host. Hopefully I'm pointing the right way this time. Ryan. Say hello, Ryan.
Me?
You.
Oh, thank you.
You.
Hello, I'm Ryan. I'm the PR guy for Watch Play Read, and I'm here to assist this brilliant, amazing person, you, Brian.
Me?
So,
Oh, you're
yes.
too nice. Look, I'm blushing. You're making me blush. I am,
Uh,
like I said, I'm Brian. I'm also I'm not the PR guy, but I am a writer and amateur podcaster for the wonderful site known as the watchplayread.com. Shameless plug. Um, well, like I said, if you stumbled upon our show, whether if this is your second time back, thank you for joining us again for hopefully what is going to be another fun episode. If this is your first time, I'll give you a little recap of what we do. We basically are here to make sure that you know everything you need to know about what has happened this week. We'll give you all the up-to-date news and all the fun things that you need to know to make sure that you are still the cool top nerd in your nerd herd, so to speak.
yes, and since we're both dads, we know what it's like to not have enough time to catch up on everything. So, I think this week we're just gonna start off with some rapid fire. Let's just get some info out for
Just
these
want to throw it
people.
out there. He's right, though. We are both fathers. We never have any time. We don't even have time for the show. I mean, we're on a
It's our
crazy time right now.
responsibility.
We're getting charged by the minute. Lights could go out any moment. So we're gonna, like Ryan said, we're gonna rapid fire this son of a gun, and we're gonna and go. So this week was not a very big. Well, there's a couple big news things that we'll kind of give you at the end here, but it wasn't a huge week for news. So we wanted to just, like I said, introduce a new segment, just rapid fire, where we're just gonna run down some of the hot topics for the week and give you our little input about it. So
Let's do it.
hopefully you learned something.
Rapid fire.
If not, at least you hope you had fun. So the first one of the week is that Apple TV is launching a actual cable service. Not a lot of details on it right now. I believe it's through Apple TV. Yes, it's basically it's going to be $30 to $40 a month. You're going to get 25 major channels. You're going to get, let's see here. Right now they have ABC, CBS, and Fox in deals. NBC is not going to happen because NBC is owned by parent company Comcast, who has a definite problem with Apple starting their own cable network. So Apple actually also recently announced, that kind of piggybacks on the news they released last week, that HBO Go is going to be streaming exclusively for a time period through Apple TV. So if you're an Apple fan or an Apple TV owner, or you don't like paying for expensive cable, this is some pretty decent news.
And I don't have one, so I'll leave that up for everyone else that owns an Apple TV to enjoy.
Well, this would probably also be why last week at an Apple event they announced that the Apple TV will be dropping from $99 to $69. So I do have an Apple TV. I actually enjoy it a lot for a streaming service. Doesn't have Amazon Prime, really the only downside, but it's pretty good, especially for $69. So look forward to that. That's supposed to launch in June. So more details as we get them, we'll let you know. Our next rapid fire item is there is officially the first trailer for the movie Pixels has launched this week. Pixels is starring Adam Sandler, Peter Dinklage, Josh Gad, amongst others, probably a whole bunch of all the Adam Sandler friends and people he keeps
Well,
employed.
there's always the same four guys that are in every Adam Sandler movie since like Billy Madison.
And
And
Mike,
I'm so conflicted about this movie. It's Pixels has it
well,
has
tell him the
all the
basis. Tell him
things
what the
that
movie's
I
about.
want, but I just don't know. I
Well,
Adam
tell him what the movie's
Sandler
about.
has what's that?
So tell everybody what the movie's about in case you haven't seen the trailer or heard about the movie.
Oh, yes. Or go watch the trailer and watch play read. We'll put it up on the show notes. How about that?
We'll put it up on the
No.
show notes. Cliff notes real quick. It's basically aliens come from outer space. They've seen our video games, and they have now taken the form of Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, and so it's personally, Ryan's not very optimistic. I have a little bit of optimism. I haven't wanted to see an Adam Sandler movie in probably 10 years. This is the first one that kind of has my interest, and Peter Dinklage is great. So
It does look like a Futurama episode.
it does look a
Though.
little bit like Futurama, and depending on it opens against Pan, that may not be so good. Opens this early this summer. I don't know what else it's going to be against. Kind of depend how it does, and hopefully, if it's good, it'll get decent word of mouth, and it might do all right. So anyway, so that's Pixels. Check it out. It's on it's on our Facebook page, or you can go to YouTube and find it. Um, The next thing that we have for you is Mallrats 2 has been announced. Kevin Smith recently is he's shooting. He was talking about the 20th anniversary of Mallrats and said that after his next
God, it's been
movie, which is
20 years.
it has been
It makes me
20
feel old.
years, I feel so old. I mean, I was like 5 when that came out, I guess. Yeah, that's right. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
No,
Wait, you're
Mallrats. If you're not familiar with Kevin Smith movies, they're mostly comical and usually pretty funny. Mallrats is definitely one of his earlier ones, or is one of his early ones, and in my opinion, one of his better ones. He's shooting right now. He's in the process of shooting a Jaws-like movie about a moose that is terrorizing campers. I don't know. It might be
well.
funny.
I guess Tusk must have been very good for him. So
Yeah, Tusk. If you're not familiar with Tusk, that is a movie about a guy who gets turned into a walrus because a man's in love with walruses. So Kevin Smith has definitely taken a weird turn in his movies lately. But so
I
yes,
believe we have a review of it on Watch Play Read. I think Kyle did it. So
yes, check that. Definitely check that out. But yeah, so Mallrats will start shooting next year. Mallrats 2 will start shooting next year. The first one's already been shot, and you can actually probably find it on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, recommend it. It's very funny. The next thing we have is a little Fantastic Four news. Most of us at Watch Play Read are about the new Fantastic Four reboot. Um, most of us like the cast. We like the
I,
director. I was a big fan of Chronicle, his other work. Really good movie. I think the cast is very solid. Um, but the trailer has left a lot to be desired, and there hasn't been a lot of buzz around the movie. So it's kind of, and I don't trust Fox to do anything. So um, I'm a
just
little
let
worried about
Fox
it.
just get rid of the rights. Just give everything back to
Give
Marvel.
everything back to Marvel. We'll all be happy.
You
But
don't have to give it to Inhuman stuff. Everyone can be mutants again, and it'll be great.
yeah, unfortunately, Fox is not giving up the rights, and probably won't be anytime soon. They've already announced they're going to be doing another Fantastic Four. In fact, they already have a release date, I think, in 2017. Um, but one of the pieces of information, one of the things that caused a lot of hubbub is that in the trailer there was actually you could not see any of the original Fantastic Four suits. There was almost nothing referenced to the original Fantastic Four. Doctor Doom is a hacker, so a lot of fans were upset that this may not stick even remotely close to the original story. Um, Miles Teller, Mr. Fantastic himself, the lead actor, came out and said that the Fantastic Four costumes will be in them. Well, he said that it would be pretty silly to have a Fantastic Four movie without the original costume. So
But
puts a
we'll
little
see.
bit to ease that maybe they'll stick a little bit to the original story, or at least make it appear that it's a Fantastic Four movie. Um, I don't know. We'll see. As you can tell, we're all dying with excitement here at Watch Play Read. But who knows? It might be good. The next bit of news is I'm very excited. Ryan has not seen them, but I am super excited. Sharknado 3 has a release date and a name. Not Sharknado
And
1,
I still need to watch one
not
and
Sharknado
two.
2, the second one. That is actually the name, the second one. No, Sharknado 3 is going to be called Sharknado 3 Oh Hell No. Stuff
I
of
think that's
genius right there.
yeah. And I think
I,
Ian is it Ian or Ian? I think it's Ian. He
I,
talked at the Salt Lake Comic Con and the panel that I watched with him, and I wrote about but actually the host is just terrible. But anyways, he kind of made references to Oh Hell No during that panel. Now that I think about it, so he's pretty smart with being sly about all the like giving out stuff that like not really anyone could understand it. So
about the new movie. Well, I mean, it's if you haven't seen Sharknadoes, they're terrible movies, but I like to call them craptastic. Basically means they're awful, but they're just kind of fun. They're so out there that you just kind of enjoy them. So Sharknado 1 and 2, Sharknado 1, 2 is much better than 1, which is still pretty bad. But I mean, I kind of
they
joke.
still
I'm excited. Is what?
do they still replay them on
Yeah, yeah. So
Sci-Fi or
Sci-Fi has them on. I believe Netflix has both the first two. Sharknado 3 is going to come out in July 22nd. The other bit of news about it is it's going to also be starring David Hasselhoff, so I'm sure the crazy is going to be at a 10, so it should be fun. Um, the last bit of news that we have for you in our little rapid fire segment is that they are going to remake Scarface. again. So if you don't are familiar with Scarface, it's actually a movie I believe came out in 1922 about kind of loosely based on I remember the gangster Al Capone, and the remake is the most popular one. It's with Al Pacino. Everybody knows Scarface. Say hello,
If
say hello to
the
my little
next one,
friend.
the guy's not sticking his face in a bunch of cocaine and shooting
Cocaine,
bumps. I
shooting
don't know.
people.
I don't know if you.
Everybody dies. Spoiler alert. It's pretty cool. Very violent. So yes, they are going to remake the remake, and this time it's going to be about a Mexican immigrant in Los Angeles who rises to a drug lord status. I'm guessing probably like the original Scarface, and instead of cocaine, they'll probably black tar heroin. I don't know, so we'll see.
They took
It's
our germs.
it is a go. It has a writer. It's the recent NAA or NWA movie, Straight Outta Compton. They picked
That
up their
looks
writer Jonathan Herman. So I don't know. We haven't seen that yet. The trailer looks like it might be pretty interesting as far as Straight Outta Compton. So I don't know about Scarface. We'll see. But who knows? But anyway, so that
we'll
brings us
see.
our rapid fire. Unless Ryan has something to say about Scarface, but that brings us to the end of our rapid fire section. Before we move on to our big news of the day, we'd like to bring a couple little rumor news. We didn't include them in our rapid fire because they're rumors as of now, so don't take anything we say take it with a grain of salt. Don't take it as fact because it's all rumor. So the first rumor is that Disney has actually seen a little bit of the Force Awakened, and they are absolutely in love with it to the point where they are actively trying to bring back J.J. Abrams for Episode 9. Currently, right now, they have Ryan I think it's Ryan, Rian, um, Johnson. He was the director from Looper. He is scheduled to write and direct episode 8. I was a big fan of Looper, so I'm excited for that. But the fact that they're actively trying to get him for J.J. Abrams for 9, I mean, anybody who's excited about Star Wars wants a little bit of news that this movie may be going in the extreme right direction. This is definitely qualifies as that.
I'm excited. It's I don't know. Star Wars is always gonna be that brand that they're gonna make billions of dollars no matter what. So, Disney doesn't put out subpar stuff. You know, typically. I mean, sometimes they have their failures, but when it comes to a big brand like Star Wars, oh, it's gonna be so awesome. I
It's
can't
gonna
wait.
be awesome. Any way you look at it, it's Star Wars, it's Disney, it's gonna be great. Like we said, I know we plug Disney a lot, but we don't get paid from them.
Mm.
But we just love their products, and they do a really great job, and they've done an amazing job with the Marvel property. So we're very excited. But this is good news. If Disney really is actively trying to get JJ back, that they loved it that much, it probably means good things for the franchise. The other bit of news is on the opposite spectrum is Suicide Squad movie. As you may or may not know, Warner Brothers Warner Brothers and DC's has released a whole slate of movies to kind of rival what Marvel's doing. Um, one of the first
Stick to
ones
the animated WB. Stick to the
the
animated movies.
animated
That's what you do best.
is yes, it is definitely amazing, but the movies do have potential. I think they look like they could be pretty good. But the news on the Suicide Squad is that actually it's going to be. It's not Batman's not necessarily going to be in it much, but apparently Batman is going to be heavily. The movie's going to be heavily influenced by Batman.
You think it'll be more like the animated one that just came out?
I have a feeling a little bit. Yes,
Batman.
I actually do. If you don't know what Ryan's talking about, Warner Brothers Animation released a really, really good. I believe we actually reviewed it. Suicide Squad cartoon movie. It was great. Batman was a sub character in the background, not the actual star of the movie, and it actually worked really, really good.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
I
it
I
was.
think we reviewed it, or I reviewed it as well. So
Yeah,
we'll put that in the show notes.
yeah. We'll put that in the show notes. Check it out. Definitely good. But yeah, part of the reason why they're going to bring in the rumor is the reason why they're going to why Joker's in this because Joker predominantly isn't part of the Suicide Squad. But the reason why Amanda Waller brings him in is that they are scared of Batman. The government is. He's kind of a boogeyman. No one's really seen him. Joker's one of the few people that they know has had contact with him, so they're making him part of the squad. He's not active. The squad is not actively going after Batman, but he is supposedly his presence is supposed to be felt, which does sound a lot like the animated movie that they did. So very exciting news. Anytime you get cool Batman, hopefully,
Yeah. Any
really,
Batman, good Batman.
any Batman, usually cool
Except
Batman,
Batman.
unless you have bat nipples, and that's just never. No one wins with bat nipples. Um, so that concludes our rumor section. So now we get to the big news of the day. It's a little sad. The show's going to be a little long today, just because we want to give a little. We want to pay our respects the pop community today lost yet another icon, and me and Ryan could not be more devastated. It was announced as yesterday, today, that none other
It
than
came out yesterday.
came out
So
yesterday, none other than Donatello has been killed. Yes, we do mean Donatello, everyone's favorite Ninja Turtle, has been killed.
I can't do it that slow. It takes too long.
This
But
is not Donatello, but
how
this is his
did he kill
brother.
Donnie? Look at him. He's got staff. Wrecks
You
people.
killed my brother. You killed
He's the
my
only
brother.
smart one. And when Mikey's dumb, Raph just wants to kill everything. Leo, he's just a leader. Who's gonna make all
Donnie.
the stuff now?
Donnie. They killed Donnie.
So mad. If my kids
So
found
mad.
out, like if my daughter found out, she's only 5. She just turned 5 today. It was her birthday. Happy birthday, Finley.
Shout out.
Um, yeah, she'll cry, like literally cry. And she's never read any of the comics. I don't let her read the comics. They're a lot more adult. Because if your kids are watching the Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, these are not Nickelodeon Ninja Turtles. These are adult Ninja Turtles, and it's awesome.
Well, obviously they
But
killed one of the Ninja Turtles, but yeah, the series creator Eastman and Lard, they when they re-released the IDW series a couple years ago, they emphasized they wanted to get back to their roots. Originally, if you're old enough like me and Ryan to remember the comics back in the '80s, they were very dark. The show is actually the '80s show was actually much lighter, and that's kind of a lighter version of them, and that's kind of what picked up with the culture. What most people think of when they think of Ninja Turtles, they think of these guys right here, the Nickelodeon show right now, the movies that
yeah,
have come out. But the comics, they wanted to get back, the creators wanted to get back to their dark roots. And with issue 44, they seem to have done that. Donatello is dead.
you should probably read the full. Don't just jump into 44. It's a 4-part um, arc. So you get 44 or 41 through 44.
Yeah, 41. Well, I believe it's to be continued. I want to say it's a 5-part arc. So, but yeah, to get current right now, it's the last 4 issues. It is the Attack of the Technodrome is the name of the series. Me and Ryan have both read it. It's really good.
Yeah, it's just the way he dies. It's like,
It's
oh, and
it's
then the very last page, I seriously almost cried
Yeah,
because
if
the
you're
last
a Ninja
page,
Turtle fan like us, as you can tell, we are both serious dorks, but we love the Ninja Turtles, and this is you feel like a part of your your childhood has been
yeah,
killed.
it's like one of your
Um,
buddies. It's like, and Donnie was the smart one. Everybody wants to be the smart one that makes all the cool stuff with the Krang technology.
I want to be Michelangelo. He just skateboarded and ate pizza all day. Seemed like,
Yeah.
but no, this is very sad news. So as you can tell, me and Ryan are both very upset about the news. Good news is it is comics. No one stays dead for too long, so hopefully they'll bring it back. But um,
How? I don't know how
hopefully
they're gonna bring him back
That's
for
true. The
mutant.
series is very grounded in realism with mutant turtles. But they could bring him back. Hopefully, though, it's a very dramatic storyline. It would be nice to actually see it play out for a little bit and see the repercussions of it. But kudos to Eastman and Laird, the creators, and writer Tom Waltz putting
Everyone
together.
took a beating in the last episode though. Shredder got beat up pretty good. Krang got beat up pretty good. It's
Definitely takes a lot of cojones to kill off one of the 4 Ninja Turtles. It's not definitely not a red shirt. This is a main character that has been around for a long time. So we definitely recommend you check it out. But yeah, that is sad news. Yes, you hopefully hear it first. Donatello has bit the dust. So bye bye,
at
Ninja.
least on the comic.
You will be missed and loved.
And
We
even
shall avenge you. We will avenge you.
animation where you
You will
put
be
like a halo
avenged.
around it.
Put a halo. You
Good
need some wings on him.
animation. He's going to heaven, guys.
He's
He's
going
going
to
to
heaven.
heaven.
Bye. So we've run a little long today. I know we promised to make it shorter, not longer, but we've lied already into our second episode. So we will get to our final section, which is our what you should or should not waste your time on this week. Ryan, would you like to go first, as usual?
Yes, on your suggestion, I got back or I watched Vikings, and I watched the first 2 seasons on Hulu. I binged watched for a couple weeks, and then magically everything recorded on one night in History Channel, and my wife was gone for 4 hours, so I just watched all the episodes. I completely caught up Vikings on the History Channel. Awesome show. It's about Vikings being badass Vikings. Or can you not like the end? Brian, you're up.
I want to piggyback on what he said real quick. I watch Vikings as well, and this is not a show to watch with your kids. It is historical, but this is not something you want to teach. This is not a teaching lesson unless your kid is
Yes.
18. It's very, very violent.
If you want to teach your kids what a blood eagle is, then
You don't
go
see.
for it. But
It's
if
gross.
you get called back from the principal the next day because your kid's performing blood eagles on people, then yeah, your kid is messed up.
So watch Vikings. My recommendation of the week is I'm a big fan of the show Flash. They've been doing season one is hit the ground running. It's a spinoff from the CW show Arrow. Flash also on CW. It's been a great show. This week they've not been afraid to dive right into their comic roots. No subject is off base. They brought in characters like Gorilla Grodd, Captain Boomerang. They've jumped right into it. Well, one of the big parts of Flash, if you're familiar with Flash at all, is time travel and the Speed Force and a lot of things like that. And so this week they finally broke that barrier. They went right into uh, going back in time. They've introduced a Reverse Flash, and it's a really cool storyline without spoiling too much. So my recommendation this week, kind of piggybacking on that, is this fantastic comic by Jeff Johns. It's Flash Rebirth. Back in the 80s, as you can see here, it's a very pretty visual. Back in the 80s, they killed Flash, and Barry Allen became no more, and Wally West took over for him. And so he was one of the oldest of the big heroes that had still been dead. And so in 2000s, they resurrected him in Rebirth, and they told a really great story about his introduction back into the world. And more importantly, they reintroduced Eobard Thorne, Eobard. It's hard to say his name. Eobard Thorne, who is the Reverse Flash, and they tell a great story. Ties into Barry's mom being killed, which is a big part of the show. So if you want a cool tie-in to the show that gives you a little more backstory on the character, if you're not familiar with the comic books, this is definitely the comic book for you. I highly recommend it. Flash Reborn. There's also a few other good Flash comics, but this is the one I would start with. If you like this one, let me know. Hit me up on Twitter, and I'd be more than happy to share the rest with you. But if you haven't watched the show, watch the show. But if you do watch the show, or even if you haven't watched the show, Flash Rebirth. It's very pretty. It's got lots of pages. It's got guys running. See,
I need to start watching it.
they're running
I
really
know
good. You
I'm
do.
terrible.
And then you should read, look, it's Flash right there. You should read the book, and you should watch the show. Very good show. So, like I said, we ran really, really long today, so we apologize. We will promise to try and keep it shorter, but we wanted to make sure we gave faithful tribute to Donatello, our faithful friend Ninja Turtle. And
Well,
thank you for joining us yet again, and hopefully we'll see you guys again next week. So, unless Ryan has something to say,
I
so
like to play
long.
with my toys.
So long, farewell. We really have to go.
Okay.
All right, all right.
Get
We're
the
signing
Ninja
off.
Turtle mini mates. These things are awesome. There's so much
Get,
detail and they look so
get
sweet.
Indie Ninja Turtles. They're all awesome. So at this
Yes.
point, we're rambling once again. So we'll see you guys next week. Have a wonderful week. Hope you enjoyed the news. Later.
Shredder!
Hang on,
Oops.
where's my icon? I can't kill the show. Hang on a second. Oh, all right. See ya.